Let's be honest with ourselves. A lot of people are already looking forward to next year's draft with all the talent at the top. Guys like Cooper Flagg, Ace Bailey, Dylan Harper, among others. So we are turning the page and previewing the next crop of talent with a list of 10 names to know for the 2025 draft. Don't worry, I did not make this list. We're bringing in an expert to give us his list. For that, we go to our director of scouting, Adam Finkelstein. Adam, I'm just going to give you the name that you picked, and you're going to tell us why we need to know. It's going to be very simple. We're going to start with...
I think I can handle that.
You think you can handle that? Okay, I believe you can. Let's start with Duke rising freshman Cooper Flagg.
Cooper Flagg is going to be the most anticipated freshman in college basketball since Zion Williamson. I mean, anybody who has ever seen a Google Analytic knows this guy has got a ton of attention. He is just an absolute... fans either love him or they hate him, but they're really interested either way. Now, as a basketball prospect, you've got a 6'8", 6'9" forward who's the best shot blocker I've ever seen that is not a 7-footer. Most of the time, these elite shot blockers tower over everybody else. Cooper is not. He's more of like an Andrei Kirilenko type defender. Offensively, he's a really unselfish player who can play some point forward. He's made great strides as a shooter this year. He's not necessarily an instinctive alpha all the time. Sometimes with his Maine United team, he was. Other times with Montverde, he's kind of more content to play in the flow. So that's going to be something we're going to watch. But right now, he's got all the pressure on his shoulders to be the first pick in next year's NBA draft. That's certainly the expectation, and all eyeballs will be on him this year at Duke.
Next up, Rutgers rising freshman Ace Bailey.
So Ace Bailey does not have anywhere near the same notoriety, but his upside may be even higher. Ace Bailey has drawn Tracy McGrady comparisons with some of the explosiveness and shot making he showed this year at Georgia. And let's be clear, those are too lofty expectations to put on anybody. So we're just sharing those comps just to give you an idea of the style of play he is, because he's a big wing. He's an explosive athlete, highest level. But the shot making that you're seeing here was a real thing this year. And the rate of improvement put him in the conversation to be the #1 ranked player. Cooper ultimately retained that spot, but this was a battle down to the very end. And I think the #1 pick in the draft next year looks like that could be a battle as well, at least early on.
For those keeping track at home, we have a Zion and a Tracy McGrady reference. So this is high praise for these young prospects.
We got Kirilenko in there too. Yeah,
we're just throwing out all the great recommendations. But this is why we're excited about this class, is because it becomes highly regarded. So let's move on to third prospect here. French phenom is what I'm calling him, Nolan Traore.
So Nolan Traore is the name outside of college basketball that is most intriguing to NBA decision makers right now. This is a 6'5" point guard who just turned 18 years old. He had a really good showing at the Nike Hoop Summit and then an outstanding showing at the EuroLeague Adidas Next Generation tournament. He went for 45 points, and that really put scouts on notice. He was already someone that scouts knew about, was already projected in a lot of these way too early mocks. Let's be clear about that. Nothing is a guarantee, but that 45-point performance, that was really eye-catching for a lot of people. So right now, he has got a lot of early buzz, and certainly someone that scouts are going to invest a lot of time in investigating throughout the course of the next year.
We have another Rutgers rising freshman to discuss, and that is Dylan Harper.
Dylan Harper, a player who was previously the #1 ranked prospect in his national senior class prior to Cooper Flagg's reclassification. We are talking about a jumbo lead guard, the son of former Chicago Bull Ron Harper. His older brother, Ron Harper Jr., starred at Rutgers before him. So with terrific positional size at just under 6'6" and a big wingspan, a strong body, and just the type of feel for the game that you really can't teach. Dylan Harper has got a lot of physical metrics and mental attributes that are going to resonate with NBA scouts. If he proves that he's a knockdown shooter this year at Rutgers, I think you're going to see NBA scouts absolutely fall in love with him.
How about Baylor rising freshman VJ Edgecombe?
Yeah, so if you watch the draft, or you're watching it still, we're about 5 picks away from where Bronny may come. VJ Edgecombe is going to a Baylor program that has been very consistent with their ability to produce one-and-done talent over the years. And VJ is going to step right in for Jacoby Walter, who was a one-and-done first-round pick last night. VJ is an explosive athlete. He was a prolific scorer last year at Long Island Lutheran. And then this year, he showed he was willing to kind of sacrifice for the greater good, scored less, but really embraced the defensive end of the floor, developed his guard skills. And I'll tell you what, in the postseason All-Star events like the McDonald's All-American game, the NBA scouts were really effusive in their praise for him. So he's certainly someone that they are going to spend a lot of time early on digging into.
Another rising freshman for the Blue Devils, Kamen Malawach.
So a product of NBA Academy Africa. He's originally from the South Sudan, and this guy's absolutely massive. He's 7'2" with a 7'6" wingspan and a 9'6" standing reach. Now, he came over for the Nike Hoop Summit in the spring, didn't necessarily play as well as advertised, so it may take a little time. But if you are a fan of the NBA draft, or even if you just watched last night, you can see getting drafted isn't about being a finished product. It's about having translatable long-term tools. And when you have this guy's reach, this guy's size, his touch, his mobility, his athleticism, the ability to make threes already, NBA scouts are going to be really excited about what you could be down the road, even if what you are right now is going to require just a little bit of patience for Duke fans.
Let's just say not a lot of champagne toasts at the NBA draft, a lot of youngins there. How about Texas rising freshman Trey Johnson?
So Trey's a prolific scorer, was one of the best scorers in the national high school class, used to playing with really high volume. So going to a Texas program that actually just got a commitment from Arthur Kaluma, the Kansas State transfer, it's going to be interesting to see how he can translate into a less high volume role. But he's got NBA caliber size, length. His frame has really come on in the last year. And listen, it's no secret that Trey aspires to be a one and done talent. The efficiency of his production is going to go a long way to determining if he can fulfill that goal.
Reigning champs, UConn rising freshman Liam McNeely.
So Liam was a fairly divisive eval throughout the course of his high school years. I've been as big of a fan of him as anyone, and I think he went to the perfect place because this is a highly skilled wing who just really knows how to play the game. And he's uniquely suited to step into one of the most intricate offensive systems in college basketball. The two-time defending national champions, they graduated or had 4 starters leave for the NBA draft. The expectation is Liam will come right in, start on the wing. And I think people who doubted Liam McNeely are going to be sorry, and he could very well find himself in this one-and-done conversation.
All right, how about Spanish standout Hugo Gonzalez?
So Hugo, again, is one of those guys that local fans are not going to know a whole lot about, but it's the name outside of Traore that we hear the most about for somebody who's not going to play college basketball. He's helped Spain to a couple of different silver medals in FIBA play. He's 6'7", and he's got some guard skills. He can really play make. The big wild card for him is going to be the development of his shooting. That's been a theme in the draft for a long time. People know he can play make. People know he's got versatility. They want to know how well the jumper's going to hold up. As you can see, it looks all right. But if you're not the focal point of an offense, you have to be able to space the floor. So scouts are really going to be digging into that in the next 12 months.
All right, finally, the 10th player we want to ask you about, BYU rising freshman Igor Demin.
So Denham was actually on that same Real Madrid team. These two guys were teammates, but he was an early coup for new BYU head coach Kevin Young. Denham is the type of player who wouldn't have necessarily come over to play college basketball in years past, but we're seeing a transition in terms of players opting for college basketball. Quite candidly, I think it has a lot to do with NIL and just the earning opportunities in the current state of college basketball. But this is a high upside player with terrific positional size and just immense tools. He checks all the boxes. So as a prospect, similar to Malawach, you're really excited. It's just about the physicality and consistency. Those are the things that scouts are going to watch next year at BYU. He's another guy that's going to require some patience, but the long-term upside is significant.
A lot of star power entering the college basketball game this year. Looking forward to watching them play. Adam, I think it's safe to say you more than handled this. So we appreciate you being here.
Thanks, Emily.
Thank you. If you want more college basketball content, well, you can find it right here on the 24/7 Sports YouTube channel by way of the College Basketball Show. Join Fink and the crew on Tuesdays at 5 Eastern for the 24/7 Sports College Basketball Show.